Hello, good morning. I hope that you're all well. Now, this video contains some very useful information for European and American needleworkers, so make sure you listen all the way through. Before I start, I want to say a huge thank you to all the attendees of Useful Work, a workshop that Kathleen Littleton of Cross Stitch Antiques, Ray Niles of Red Barn Samplers and myself presented last weekend at Hobby House Needleworks. We had an absolute blast. It was wonderful, and the event for us was made very special by the attendees. They were an absolutely fantastic audience. Their excitement filled the room. There was a lovely buzz from the moment people started to arrive in the days leading up to the workshop to departing. We had a wonderful time. I'm so glad that many of us had those extra days in front of the retreat to spend time together. And Kathy and David Mills very kindly hired a private room, so we had somewhere to go in and meet on the Thursday and the Friday morning before the official stitch room opened. That was lovely. It was great having that extra time to connect. The workshop was based on useful work, and that was the useful work of their hands and the useful work of all of our hands. And the three of us, although we're very different, we're three, different people, we all share this deep love for needlework and the girls and boys who stitched these samplers. The three of us went away and decided what we each individually wanted to present, and then we came back together, and therefore the weekend there was a lot of content, a lot of different content and views and research being presented to the attendees. What did make us laugh was that when the three of us went away to decide on the sampler that we were going to present to the room that was based on useful work, all three of us came back with a Bristol Orphanage sampler. When we revealed our chosen sampler to each other, it did give us a laugh that we had chosen the same type of sampler. And I suppose when you think about it, that for girls in orphanages, it was very important the sampler they stitched, because those samplers were used when they were being placed in domestic service, or say as seamstresses. Like, children in orphanages went on to all different types of work, but probably the vast majority of them went into domestic service. So their sampler they stitched in the orphanage was used as a reference for their job application. So really, those samplers probably had the greatest impact for their future adult lives. Like Harriet Salt. Harriet Salt, we know, was a very good needleworker because she was allowed to stitch a second sampler, a coloured Bristol. She didn't go into domestic service as a maid. She went as a personal assistant to a lady. The whole subject of orphanage samplers is very, very interesting. Now, the weekend wasn't about orphanages, but we touched on that through the useful work. The main event project for which everybody received kits for was Margaret Koi's sampler. She stitched this sampler in 1848 at the age of 12 years old. I promised attendees that the sampler they were going to be receiving was unique and very doable. And Margaret is beautiful, beautiful colour palette. And of course, these two very unusual bands. And Margaret tells us that this couple are dancing the polka dance and that this is Tom Thumb's carriage. Now, Margaret died very young. Her mother was widowed and a pauper, and her mother toiled as agricultural labourers. Margaret would never have gone to London and seen Tom Thumb's carriage when Barnum Circus visited in 1844. She would only been 8 years old then, and I doubt that Margaret ever had the opportunity to dance the polka dance. Margaret's history is very, very sad, and we talked about that at the workshop, and her life story is included in her booklet. Now, we've had, and Hobby House have had, a lot of inquiries from people who were not at the event, very, very interested in stitching this sampler. The sampler will be available on general sale in 12 months' time. It's only fair for the attendees of the workshop that this sampler is exclusive for that 12-month period, but it will most certainly be released in time. It's not going anywhere. The attendees at the workshop received many gifts from Hobby House and Kathleen, Ray and me. They went home, I think, with approximately 16 items, and Kathleen, Ray and me, we had such fun planning little gifts for everybody. At the end of every presentation, attendees received a gift, and we tried to make those gifts relate to the topic that we were talking about. They certainly went home with a very full swag bag. As I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about it. It was such a fun weekend. There was a lot of love and laughter in that room, and yeah, it was really good. I very much enjoyed it, and I can't wait for next year's workshop at Hobby House Needlework. Kathleen, Ray and me will be presenting again. We really enjoyed working together. You know, we're friends and we have a great rapport between us, and because we come from the same place in our hearts when it comes to needlework, the team combination worked. So for the last 6 months, we've been planning our workshop for next year, and it's going to be Imagination and Emotion, The Needle Speaks. It's going to be held at the Woodcliff Hotel. Hobby House Needleworks are the hosts, and it's going to be the weekend of the 18th to 20th of September 2026. But the three of us will be coming in early, and we will be there in the days leading up to the workshop to spend time with attendees. It's really lovely having that time before the workshop to have some one-to-one, whether it's just chatting to people, answering questions, or helping with stitches or other issues they're having with their needlework. You know, we enjoy that. Registration is going to open on the 27th of September, which is a Wednesday. Hobby House haven't actually confirmed yet what time registration is going to open, but I'm sure that they will give advance notice of that. And when the three of us know, we will also post on our social media. And I hope that you'll come and join us. It's a wonderful topic, imagination and emotion, the needle speaks. We have so many ideas of what we're going to bring to that workshop, and we always like to have a few surprises, a few different things that people might not be expecting. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. When I hold a workshop, that's not just speaking at an event, when it's an entire workshop, I always open a Facebook group after registration opens so that attendees can join that group and the fun starts then. So if you do secure a place for the workshop, make sure you contact me so I can join you to that hidden group on Facebook. We always throw in some bonus projects for you to enjoy in the lead up to the actual event. A weekend goes so quickly, it's over in a flash, so it's really nice that all the fun starts sort of 12 months ahead. Okay, so at that workshop, I had on the display table my Needleworkers companion and pin cushion. The Needleworkers companion opens up into, it's a trifold that opens up. It has 2 pockets at either end, and these pockets have been designed to hold SWA 103. I'm sure that most of you know that's my absolute favourite thread to stitch with. If you haven't tried it, you should. It's beautiful. So that's where I can pop my SWA 103 threads. You then have either end these really deep pockets, and these pockets have been designed for you to put in your embroidery hoop and other things as well. You can pop a magnet into the construction of this pocket to hold needles and your scissors, and these flaps for me are here so that when I stop stitching, I remove my stitching from its hoop, fold it up, I pop it under there, close the flaps, and then when I close my book up, my project is held safely in my case. Now, I was planning on releasing these 2 items after my workshop in Swindon in October, but because of the enthusiasm for this companion, I decided to open it up when I returned home. I did have some sets for making this up at the workshop, and they literally went in under a minute. It was, you know, everybody wanted one, but there wasn't enough for everybody. So I agreed that I would make these available. Now, this brings us to the issue for European stitchers and now American stitchers with making international orders. And I will come to what we are doing to help both sets of stitches, but before that I do want to show you the panel that you will get. Now, this length of fabric is 78.5 inches long. I haven't got enough stretch to show you, so I'll talk you through the panel individually. What we have here, this panel is your front cover. And then we have this very long panel made up of various different fabrics. These fabrics are designed that it's one run of fabric. You don't need to cut along these lines. This whole length of fabric folds up on itself to create the pockets. That's the end of the piece. And basically what you do is you literally fold it up at either end, and then it sits over the centerpiece. The construction of this is so easy, and if you're interested in the construction, there is a Flosstube video on my YouTube channel. It's the video I released a few days ago before this one, and it shows you how easy this is to construct. There is actually very little stitching. So then you have your binding. There's lots and lots of binding in this panel. Now, once I'd put that together, I had space on this panel. Oh, sorry, I forgot. These are the 2 pieces of fabric for your flaps. Okay, so going back, I had lots of space on this panel. So what I did, I added this additional panel of hexi patterns so that you could create something an additional accessory. You could use your own creativity. You might make a scissor case, a glasses case, a needle book case. You could even make a little fold over purse and secure it with one of the buttons that we are including with the kit. I put in 6 pairs of circular fabric which you can cut out and put on a self-covered button. Now you might decide to put a button here and here and secure it with ribbon wrapped around it. If you are going to use your case to hold quite bulky items, then the magnet fasteners may not hold it. So you could put a button there and wrap ribbon around your case. You might put a lot in here, which makes it very, very bulky. So that would be ideal. You could use those buttons on your pincushion or on other accessories. Talking of the pincushion, there are 7 hexagons in this to make this pincushion, and you could have it this way around or that way around. It's very, very pretty. And I filled mine with crushed walnut shells. So the panel you receive for the companion is 78.5 inches long, and I think it's 18.5 inches deep. The overall companion, when you open it up, will measure 21 inches by 8, or when you fold it up, it will be 7 inches by 8 inches. Now, okay, so this brings us to getting these items to European and American needleworkers. My husband has been working with our European representative for the last, month, 5 weeks, about getting our fabric lines certificated so that we can sell it to people in the EU. And in fact, he's actually working on that now as I record this video in his study. The form filling and paperwork is overwhelming, but he is ploughing through it. And we very much hope that in the next 3-4 weeks, our authorization will be through and we will be able to sell fabric to needleworkers in the EU. Now, I know that European needleworkers have missed out on some of our earlier releases of fabric this year. So what we are going to do, as soon as our authorization is through, any fabric that we've released since the beginning of the year when the general product safety regulations hit European needleworkers, we will be making those designs available so that they can secure them. And what I'll do is, because not everybody with their budget can afford to buy everything in one go, I'll leave them up there for a little while so that maybe they can pick one up a month as their budget allows. Now we come to American needleworkers. And my heart goes out to you all. People in the UK and Europe and Canada and other countries as well have always been used to paying custom duties and handling fees on things that they buy from abroad. Like in the UK, I think it's something like £30 or £35. If we bring something in over that value, we have to pay a 20% customs duty and a handling fee. So that's always made it very expensive for us buying from outside of the UK. Now, America has always had tariffs, but Americans for the last few years could purchase items up to the value of $800, and bring them into the country without being charged a tariff and a handling fee. Well, this year there's been many changes to the tariffs in the US. Different tariffs apply to different goods and it depends on the country of origin. I understand that from the 29th of August this year, the $800 allowance has been abolished. So Americans will be paying tariffs or applicable tariffs on items they buy from outside their country, and when they come into the country they will go through customs, and customs will charge them customs duty and handling fee. Now, as I understand it, if something is sent to the US via a courier such as FedEx, DHL and UPS, those couriers have got systems in place to calculate the tariff and then bill the person in the US for those customs duties and a handling fee. Once that's paid, they then deliver those items to the person. As I understand it, the USPS, the United States Postal System, doesn't have systems in place to cope with all the new tariffs and handling all the billions of parcels that come through USPS every year. So, as I understand it, I might have misunderstood it, for needleworkers who are bringing in items between the end of August and the end of February, there is an $80 flat fee on their imports from the United Kingdom. So when we have shipped, let me go back a little bit. Our charts are books because they are bound books. In the UK, there is no sales tax. Our sales tax is called value added tax, VAT. So in the UK, there is no VAT on bound books. So when we have our books printed, there is no VAT charge. When we have our fabric printed, there is VAT charged. When we send books to the US, bound books have always been tariff free. They're zero rated. So when we ship over, there is no customs duty on those books. Whether that has changed, I do not know. So a few days before the 29th of August, I will be sending out some test packages with books to see how quickly they pass through the USPS and whether there is any change to the, there being customs and handling charges on those books. I don't know. When my husband and I read the website for United States, customs, it appears that our bound books are still tariff-free. However, we do know that there will be tariffs payable on our fabric, which will be 10%. Now, if we were shipping our fabric and USPS just charge, say, 10% on a £30 project bag, you would be paying £3 customs duty and a handling fee. It's equivalent to what Canadians, UK stitchers, European stitchers pay when they buy from outside of their country, and that's a reasonable amount. It's different for American stitchers, but it is reasonable. But what is not reasonable is if they have to pay an $80 flat fee. So what we have decided, because we want to support needleworkers around the world, that as long as we can, or up until the end of February next year, when the USPS should have a proper system in place to charge the appropriate tariff and not a flat fee, we will be shipping fabric, and I'm only talking about fabric now. We will be shipping orders for fabric once per month to the States to somebody who's going to distribute them for us. We will cover the tariff costs. We will be billed for the tariff, and then your orders for fabric will be shipped to you direct from within the US. that will help you. It's a bit of a hit for us on our our allowance for markup on our fabric, but we do want to help you with that. It might not be sustainable, but that's what we're hoping to do from the 29th of August till the end of February, when there will be proper systems in place to charge you the 10% plus the handling fee. I will let everybody know how we get on with our test booklets, and if you are going to place an order for fabric, whether it's the Needleworkers companion or our project bags or our printed sampler panels, please do not include anything else in your order. Please just make that order for the fabric. If you do place other forms of items in your order, I will have to split the orders and charge you separate postage for each order. Okay, so right, one more thing. I have been packing and shipping these panels like mad so that I could ship them to, so that they would arrive in customs in the US, but before midnight on the 28th. I was going to carry on shipping until Tuesday, but I made a decision yesterday that the post that went out yesterday was going to be the last one I was going to send direct to the customer. Anything that goes Monday or Tuesday for fabric should arrive in customs by the 28th, but I decided I didn't want to take the chance. So orders that shipped yesterday for fabric, and I'm only talking about fabric, those are the last orders that I will ship direct to the customer. So any orders that I pack from today onwards will be going to our distributor, and I'm hoping to get the first lot of boxes of orders off probably at the end of this week coming, or at the very latest the beginning of the week after. The courier normally takes between 3 and 4 working days to get that item in to the recipient in the US, and then that person will go to the post office and post each individual order. When your order leaves us to go to our distributor, I will send you a message, and then when the distributor advises me that your order has gone into the USPS postal system, I will then mark your order complete, and you will have notification that your order is complete, and then you can expect it in the days ahead, depending on how long USPS take to get that to you. I understand that in the US the mail delivery times can greatly. Okay, so gosh, oh, I know what else I had to talk about. Now, not everybody wants to make these items up themselves, but I would recommend you watch the instruction or the videos explaining the construction of the companion and the project bags, because I really have tried to make it as simple as possible to construct. A friend of mine who has never really done anything like this before looked at my video. She was my guinea pig, and she looked at my video and she made a companion from my video, and she was so delighted that it turned out perfectly. However, if you don't want to construct this yourself, there will be many finishers that will do this for you. Now, many of you will know Linda. She's my travel buddy. She's stitched a lot of model for hats, and she's met a lot of needleworkers at workshops. Linda's going to offer a makeup service for the case, not the pin cushion, but the case, and for project bags. And I'm just going to pop a photo in of Linda's Needleworkers companion that she's made for herself. If you're interested in contacting Linda to construct your companion for you. I have popped Linda's email address below. You know, please contact her direct. That doesn't involve hats, but you know, there is somebody who will construct these for you and your project bags. There will be lots of other people as well. Okay, there are so many things I want to talk about, but this video has gone on for a little bit longer than normal. Don't forget the companion is on our website. If you go to if you go to our online store, press the drop down box, and it's under fabric, and you can check that out. But no items other than fabric, because it will create a problem with this shipping to my distributor. Don't forget that we have our next year's workshop, Imagination and Emotion, the Needle Speaks. Can't wait for that. I'm already very, very excited. If you have any questions about the shipping of products to America or Europe, please email me. I think one of the important things is that when you buy outside your country, it's very important that you check out what the regulations are, because you as the buyer and the importer into your country is responsible for those charges. The one thing I can say, that all our products that we sell on our website, they are all manufactured in the UK. They are not manufactured, say for example, in China, where additional tariffs apply. We like, where possible, to produce things in our own country. Like obviously, if we had silks for sale, they're made in France, but our general inventory is made in the UK, so it's the 10% tariff. Okay, I'm starting to ramble. I'm going to close out this video today in a different way. There's no bye-bye. So I'm going to say, stay well, stay safe. To you. So long, farewell, I'll leave this day good night. We'll leave to go when this is going to side. So long, farewell, I'll be the saying adieu, 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 to you and you and you. So long, farewell, I'll be the saying goodbye. We float, we can gently recline. They don't have this wrap, so I have to buy it. Yeah. So long.